The 1998 season was really set up in 1997 because we went 14-5, so I believe we tied the school record, and that was really led by our two captains was Amanda Gruber and Nora Kelly. And Amanda has been since inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I think she's the leading goal scorer in history. So that really set things up for us for going into '98.
We were truly a team. I wouldn't say we had any complete standouts. We all played for each other. And so we laid the foundation in terms of, we realized how successful you can be when you play as a team. And we just kind of worked off of there. And we really, truly worked as a team, and we got along so well. I mean, I've never had a team where everyone just really got along. And that goes a long way, especially when you're playing at this level, to be able to like the people you play with. It goes a long way.
I just remember that season. That was my freshman year, and the winning obviously was so much fun. And once you get a taste of winning, you just want to keep working hard to continue that if you can. And we had a lot of success, and I think that gave us the momentum. You know, once you get that feeling, you want to keep achieving for the same thing. And so I think that gave us the momentum going into the '98 season. A couple things that were real special to me in the '97 season, I played with my sister. She was a senior when I was a freshman. And she was a great example to me of, working hard and stepping up in clutch situations and being an impact player on the team. And, I always wanted to contribute as much as I possibly could to the team in order to, work together to help the team win. And she was just a wonderful example to me personally to show me how to do that.
And then in '98 we had a very strong senior class, 7 in the senior class, and we had a very dynamic junior class of 3, actually 4. One person, Andrea Love, was injured, but they were very dynamic. We had Amy and Christy Reinshagen and then Stacy Kuhl, who later would play. All of them would play a critical role in that A-10 game. And then a lot of young talent in our freshman and sophomore classes. So it was a great blend of strong senior class with young talent that we had that experience in youth, essentially all came together for us. So I think it was, I wouldn't say anyone in particular. I said that senior class, our goalkeeper Anne-Marie Hubbard, and then we had Karen Case was our other backup keeper. We had a strong defense, and Colleen Savage, Carrie Heedham, Holly Groh was in that mix. Then we had A.J. Lemon and Reagan Toller. So we had a really good, strong senior class that really had. There was a lot of leadership in that class. And then, as I said earlier, that our juniors with Stacy Kuhl and then Amy and Christy Reinshagen were just really dynamic. Christy was a forward. Amy was a midfielder, and who always wanted to be involved in the play. And then Stacy she actually was a forward in high school, and she was an outside back for us. I felt that in order to be prepared for conference play, whether it was in the Midwest Conference or the A-10, that our non-conference play had to really challenge us. And so we typically got hammered, so to speak, in the early games. But that particular year, I think we were actually we went 2-5-1 or 2-5-2. But we also had 3 overtime games. We lost 2 of them, and I think it was Dayton and Ohio State, and then we tied Kentucky. So, and we had other losses against Indiana. So we had a really tough non-conference game, and to everyone's credit, we saw that as our opportunity to play against the best, and how do we get better in preparation for the conference play.
Playing that tough competition, it made us realize that every day you have to come and play at the top of your game, or else you're going to lose 5-0, which is what I think happened at Ohio State. I think we lost 5-0. And so that really, we realized, hey, we got to play as a team, and we have to play together every day in practice, and how you practice is how you play. And so that really prepared us for our A-10 schedule, which was tough, but you know, playing those tough teams, it didn't seem as bad. So that's kind of how I think that helped us gain some confidence going into our A-10 conference schedule.
It's super frustrating, and nobody likes to lose. But when you play better teams, you get better, you get stronger, you have to set a higher expectation. So when you're playing tougher competition, even if you're losing, you're growing. If you're crushing everybody, you're not necessarily growing. So I think that probably impacted us in that regard. And it's funny because just the couple of years, we always had a tougher beginning of the season, and then kind of waited till conference to be successful. So we definitely focused on that in the sense of like, okay, this is okay. It's not what we want at all, but this is okay. And the conference allows us an opportunity to refocus and still have success in that season.
After all those 8 games, I think there was a lot of bonding that went on. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on outside of the everyday practices. I mean, we're in the car, we were driving to Newtown every day, practicing. So, I mean, and all the bus rides. There's so many memories that I have outside of just playing on the soccer field or just our practices. So I think a lot of that helped us bond a little bit more, and I think that helped with the trust, because as soon as we started trusting each other and believing in each other, then we kind of turned everything around. And that kind of played out the rest of the season.
I do feel like it was a challenging beginning to the season, and everyone knew that. But to me, it was all a challenge because it was all new. So really, from a freshman perspective, I probably didn't have the past years to like build upon. But I do remember as we got into the conference games, it being like, okay, no, really, we can do this. Like, we can do this, and really, we might have a chance to make school history, which is, hey, it's possible. It's nice to feel like something that seemed impossible could be possible. And I remember that feeling like, actually, I think we can do this, right? And again, for me, it was all like so new and exciting. I almost feel lucky, actually, I know I do feel lucky that like that was my first experience. Really, that's kind of amazing. And it never became expected, I guess. It was still like, you show up every day, you do the work, and then, you know, if we're lucky, hopefully the work shows results.
We knew we could hang with some of the best teams around in the country, having played Ohio State and Indiana and teams like that. So it gave us a lot of confidence heading in, and we knew when we played well, we were one of the best teams. We were one of the best teams, if not the best team in the conference and in the area. So it gave us a ton of confidence. And when you have confidence, confidence is everything in any area of life, whether it be soccer or a job or whatever. So confidence is super important. And we had the tools we needed to be successful. And then once we gained that confidence, we were a very good team.
I just remember showing up to the banquet that they held before any of the tournament went on. And it was kind of like we got overlooked. There wasn't a lot of people on our team that made the all-conference teams. And it was almost like, okay, we had a great conference schedule. We're at the top of the conference, yet we still have to prove ourselves to these people. So I think we went into that game just ready just to show everybody what we had.
That was just an incredible game. We had a great crowd there. Mike Babinski was there. Father Hoff was there. Good thing he didn't have his collar on, so that was a good thing. He was really into it. And that particular game, it was an even match. I believe we were down 1-0 at halftime. And then, as I recall, it's still 1-0 with 32 seconds left in the game. And we just crossed midfield, and my assistant coach jumped up to say something, and I just grabbed him and pulled him back down. I said, just sit down, don't do anything, because what's going to happen will happen. And So we go down there, and there's a foul just outside of the 18. Annette Gruber takes a kick and hits the wall. Christy Reinshagen is in the box. She somehow just is able to get to the ball, takes, touches it, another touch, and the next thing you know, it's in the bottom right side netting. And we tie it with 5 seconds to go in the game.
I loved playing at Dayton. It was, they were a rival. The setting of the field was really pretty, and there was always very competitive games there against Dayton. So it was always fun to play there. So going on to the finals against Dayton, playing against a big rival like that, it just makes you real pumped up and motivated to win. And it was such a hard-fought, close game all the way through. And
we were down 1-0 and for a while, and we scored the game-winning goal with seconds left in the game. And I remember when we got the foul and they set up the ball, and I remember after talking to Coach Quinn and him saying, it wasn't about looking to me for the play. It was about what you girls wanted to do out there on the field. Like, who was going to take it? Where was it going to happen from? And that was all decided. It's so unlike like basketball or football, where here's your signal, here's what you need to do. And the girls did. And being back in the goal, all you can do is hope and pray. And when they did that, I think that was the true win of the game. Yes, we won in the penalty kicks, and yes, Stacey Cool's finish of the 5th shot of scoring was just absolutely elating and incredible. But the final goal was what stood out to me the most.
Dayton has always been one of our rivals, and they were in the Atlantic 10 with us, and so it was always between us and Dayton as to who's going to take the championship. So that year we were very good, and we were playing some of our best soccer. And I remember the game. I remember exactly what the field looked like, and I remember all the fans and all the parents standing around the field. And it was coming down to the wire, and I'm pretty sure it was my twin sister who scored with, I think it was 15 seconds left in the game to tie it up. It was crazy. I remember going nuts, and we were so excited. And then we had to go into overtime, and no scores in overtime, and then we went into penalty kicks. And I'll tell you what, that is nerve-wracking, going into penalty kicks. Being in overtime, not so much, because you're just doing your thing and you play and you get caught up in the game. But when you're in penalty kicks, you're waiting for your turn. And all I remember about the penalty kicks is that we were down a penalty kick, and then it was my turn. I think I was second to last or third, and if I missed the penalty kick, we were going to lose. So I remember stepping up there just praying that I made it. And I shot, and it hit the post and went in. So I came about as close as you can come to missing it without actually missing it. So, and then I believe it was one of the other juniors, Stacy, was coming up after me.
I think of the Dayton player, their 7th player went and missed. And at that point, I'm still even like, okay, who's going to take the next kick, Because I wasn't going to pick anybody, and so Stacey Cool said, I'll do it. She says, I took them in high school. That was like 4 years ago. I said, well, okay, that works, because we thought we were on the edge anyway. And so she steps up, and Stacey is one of the most, I would say, confident individuals that I've made, and positive people that I've ever coached. And she just steps up and hits it in the upper right 90, and game over, and everything kind of just breaks loose, and the celebrations began.
Yeah, I just can remember Stacey Cool stepping up, and Stacey's was one of, she was a leader. She was a quiet leader. She led by example, and she just went up there with all the confidence and just nailed that penalty kick. I just remember everybody just running straight to all the people that were taking the penalty kicks. We were just running from the bench. And it's funny because I can see there's so many pictures of us. Just arms out wide and our mouths like wide open screaming. And I see all those pictures, and I can remember that moment.
I remember rushing the field afterwards. I remember all of us just exhilarated. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. And then the feeling afterwards was so great. I remember, I mean, this was before really cell phones, like maybe a flip phone, right? Actually, I remember somebody had called my parents. It must have been another parent in the crowd because my parents were in Arizona at the time, and had them like trying to listen. And I remember talking to them on the field, like both my sister and I crying and just being like, that was amazing. I mean, it was the most exciting game I've ever been a part of. It was awesome.
The dads handed me the phone, and it was my parents on the other line crying as one of the dads walked them through the shootout. And so to me, that just personally was so memorable that they were able to listen in, and a parent thought about calling them and just were that engaged. I mean, the team chemistry, it did not just happen on the field. The parents on the team, I love them, you know, they were parents to me. They took care of me, especially from being so far away.
It was a great way to end the season, just and it was at Dayton, and as I said, we had great support there, and so it was just an awesome experience for everybody.
So much excitement, so much, sense of accomplishment after such a long season, and winning your A10 championship against the opponents you played all season. Everybody wants to try to make it to the NCAA, and we had never experienced that before. Everybody wants to go to the big dance, and I remember we, both times, my senior year, we went to the NCAA tournament as well, and both times the team met at Sorrento's at a pizza restaurant, and we watched the selection show. It was on ESPN, and just to see Xavier put up there on the bracket was just so exciting and surreal, to know that we made it, and made us feel like we were a top program in the A10. And, after working so hard, a sense of deserving it after playing so hard. So it was very exciting. And then actually getting to go, and just kind of the special treatment that you get going to the NCAA tournament was really neat.
It was kind of awesome to know we had done something that had never been done here before for women's soccer, right? I mean, to be a part of that, it felt like, okay, your hard work paid off. And there's more to it than just winning the title, right? It's about like, okay, we showed up, we did the work, and we got the results. So that was awesome. And really, like I said, to be able to share it with people that you've made a connection with and a true friendship with when you're away from home and thrown into this new environment where you don't know anybody, to feel like you have this new family that you can also accomplish something with. I mean, what's not to celebrate?
College soccer was completely new to me. So I didn't, when somebody says, we've never done this before, it's like, oh, wow, this is cool. It's not, I didn't realize how big of an accomplishment it was till after the fact. And it was once we went to the tournament, the NCAA tournament, once we went there, it was kind of like, okay, I get it. And now I want to come back and do this again. It wasn't like an expectation. It was just something you wanted to work towards every single year and get back there again and prove yourself.
It was a big jump for us. And so once we saw that it could be done, and then even in the following year, we lost to Dayton in the finals, so we made it still to the A10 finals. And ironically, we lost. They, I think, won the game with 5 seconds to go in the game. Of course, it was a foul in which their player took a dive, but we'll overlook it at this point, 19 years later. And then we won again in 2000. So that we were able to kind of raise the level at that time and get things rolling. We always felt that women's soccer at Xavier and in this region, could be a prominent sport, and so so that really was I think the impetus for us to continue to seek for additional funding and resources and facilities and so on. So so that was, I think, it just showed that it could be done.
I literally feel like I made some of the best friends I've ever made on this campus, and really on that team. That's where my core was here. I feel like I had a family away from my family, and it is something that, I'm getting older, but I'm still so proud of.
I feel like I have a forever family through Xavier, even though I've graduated and I've moved on and I've started a family of my own. It's always going to be a family to me, a family that has the same core Jesuit values and will always be there no matter what. We will celebrate each other's accomplishments, and whenever we have a difficult time or difficult season, we're always there for each other. It's one big family, even though it carries over from just being a student athlete. All the people that I've met at Xavier, the friends that I've made, the teachers, the professors, they've all made an impact, and it's all just, to me, it's my family.
Also, Coach Ron Quinn was just an outstanding leader and coach. He helped lead us in the right direction and push us to be the best we could be and play, to the top level that we could play. I enjoyed him so much because he let us play with freedom and creativity while also leading us in the right direction with some structure as well. But he really kind of let us play, take the game situations, and use our instinct to play. And that's, I think, real special in a coach, to let players do that.
We had a coach in Ron Quinn that he let us keep the love of the game throughout our career in college. And I think that's what a lot of people lose when they go to college, because it becomes more of a job and work. And it never felt that way when I was here, ever. So we really got to appreciate the game through our college career, which I think is rare.
I think it really is a place that encourages you as a whole human being, not just the education, not just the sports. I mean, I do feel like it's all encompassing. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's physical as far as the sports was concerned. But it really is a place that allows you to grow, not just athletically or academically.
Being a Xavier Musketeer is very important to me. Xavier is where I found out who I truly was. I think throughout life you struggle with finding who you are and maybe what you should be doing. But Xavier, the people I met here and the things I was able to do and accomplish here set the tone for the rest of my life. And I'm truly honored to be a Musketeer.